Hello beings, welcome to the Flamino Experience. My name is Douglas Flamino and today I'm going to show you the 10 steps for personal development according to my own Flamino experiences. Go ahead and leave a like here to support my work because this is a very well-intentioned video and I'm counting on your help too. Comment Pocahontas. Well, this is a subject I can speak about with a lot of authority. Personal development. I've been doing this with a lot of dedication in recent years. I'm going to make a list here for you of the best paths, the best ways for you to achieve personal development. And you can rest assured that this won't be one of those coach red pill, you will be a man of value kind of topics. I decided to release this video today because today is the first day of the year and everyone is already starting to create expectations and set goals for themselves. Because it's always that restart, right? And most of the time, the goals are unrealistic, goals that are impossible to achieve. So I'm gonna make a list here. If you're feeling lost, if you don't know where to go, if you have no idea about your future, if you have no perspective on where to start, this video is for you. This video is for you to be able to map out what you need to do to develop yourself better and make life easier. I consider personal development the fastest way, the biggest shortcut to happiness. I'm basically going to teach you here how to reach happiness faster. The first step for you to start your personal development is to know your weaknesses. It's a very unpleasant stage, but it's necessary. We need to know where the root of the problems is in order to solve them, because sometimes we don't even see our flaws as flaws. So, if it's not clear which points you need to improve in your life, ask for help from the people closest to you, the people who know you best, because you're just going to ask a few questions like, what do you think I could improve about my personality? What's interesting is doing this with multiple people, since you can spot patterns that way. If one person here is saying, oh, you're lazy, another one here is saying, you're lazy, you're lazy, you're lazy, you know that someone is right? So that's the first point. You found out your personality flaws to focus on your flaws first, and then gain new skills and abilities. That's the thing about development. People sometimes think that it's just about acquiring new skills, but sometimes the fastest and best way is to reduce your flaws. Second point, health. When it comes to health, I know there are many people who have difficulties, for example, maintaining a healthy diet or being consistent with physical activities. But there's a little secret to make it less difficult. When I talk about health, I mean you. Improving your diet, exercising regularly, improving your sleep quality, having good hygiene, all of this involves health. The thing is, all these details are usually made up of habits, and habits take time to form. So, it's only fair to yourself that it also takes you a while to replace your habits with better ones. In 2024, I'll follow a strict diet to gain muscle and lose fat, do daily morning cardio, an hour of strength training, and improve my sleep habits. Don't be the person who does that, take it slow. It's much more likely you'll be able to keep up with a new habit if you take it slow, so do it that way. Change a small detail in your diet, and when you get used to that little change, then you add some physical exercise, just a little, maybe twice a week or even once a week. That will depend a lot on how used you are to doing physical exercise. So, take it easy on yourself and gradually increase that for any habit you want to add. It's kind of a pattern. And please value your sleep more. It helps us with hormones. We are governed by hormones. If your testosterone is really low, you won't wake up feeling energetic. You won't have that virility, the hormones. They control your free will, though you still have free will over actions. But when it comes to the sensations in your body, we have to be really careful with sleep, with diet, with exercise, so that everything is well regulated. If our machine here is working well, it makes it easier for us to have free will in the rest of our actions. Third point, emotional shield. Obviously, if you are already doing well emotionally, it also helps you improve your habits. When it comes to health, they go hand in hand. Do you understand what mental health is? Mental health is basically how you deal with your own feelings and how you deal with others, how you handle what people say to you. How you deal with problems, it's what keeps you stable. And obviously I'm going to point that out here. Professional help. if you have any problem like attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, borderline, depression, any kind of issue that a professional can help you with, don't hesitate to reach out to a professional. It will be a huge shortcut for your development, but Douglas, I'm already a very stable person, but there's always room to improve. For example, check how your anger management is, see how your self-criticism is, because many times a person is stable with others. But inside it's a mess of feelings. My tip to develop this, besides that issue with professionals: meditation. If you dedicate yourself to meditation, you'll be able to notice a lot of things about yourself that you didn't notice outside of meditation. Meditation is the best habit for looking inward. Actually, I don't know any other. Another fourth step: organization. I believe the most useful part of organization is the fact that you save time. When you're organized, you don't waste time doing activities for no reason. If you're disorganized, you might even do the same activities, but you'll spend more time doing them. So, being organized without needing to go to extremes is a great ally for personal development. Some tips that can help you stay organized: a to-do list. With a to-do list, you spend just the morning organizing what you need to do in the right order throughout the day. When you use the morning, when your brain is more rested to do this, you spend less time trying to think about it during your tasks. Routines. If you can create a routine of always doing the same things at the same times, you'll have a much better idea of how much time you spend doing each thing, of what time of day you'll be free to do new things. And obviously habits. A lot of people confuse routines with habits, but they're different things. A routine is something you always do at the same time, though sometimes the time can change a bit. And a habit is something you do without noticing within your routine. You might even do it with effort, but maintaining the routine, the habit, you do it effortlessly because it's already natural for your body. So, if you can turn routines into habits, that's the best of both worlds. Fifth step: communication, in my opinion, is the best skill for personal development. Knowing how to deal with people, knowing how to express yourself to others opens many doors for you, so it's very important to focus on some things that improve your communication. Reading will help you a lot. With vocabulary, you won't suddenly become an eloquent guy who speaks beautifully. But little by little you start adding words to your vocabulary, and that way you can even understand people who speak eloquently, you know? It already helps a lot. One thing I can say from my own experience that also really helps with communication is theater. Theater, man. It develops you in every way, in verbal and non-verbal communication, in the way you can interpret other people, in the way you can understand. Man, it's incredible. Sixth step: financial control. The financial control I'm talking about isn't about being an expert at making a lot of money. Being able to make a lot of money will come as a consequence of the rest of your development. What I mentioned about the previous steps here will make it so that consequently you will be able to make a lot of money. What I'm talking about is knowing how to manage your money. That doesn't mean you have to be an investment expert, even when it comes to the part about investing your money. I believe it's much more worthwhile for you to outsource this service to someone who has already spent a lot of time dedicated to learning that. Seventh step: sacrifices. The sacrifices you'll have to make in your life are almost a consequence of your personal development. As time goes by, you'll realize that some things will have to be left behind, even people. So that's how it is. It's not that kind of sacrifice like, I'm not going to drink soda anymore. It's the kind of sacrifice like, this guy who claims to be my friend isn't being good for me, he's being a toxic person, I'm going to cut contact. That's hard, man. Sometimes you like the person, but you realize they're toxic, not because they're intentionally bad, but because they just haven't developed yet. And then they end up dragging you down, it'll be noticeable, it'll bother you. And what am I trying to say here? I'm not going to drink soda. I'm not going to drink soda anymore. I'm not going to drink it anymore. Soda. I'm not going to soda. Soda, me. I'm not going to soda, drink soda. I'm not soda. I'm not anymore soda. I'm not soda. I'm more soda. I'm going to more soda. I'm not going to drink soda anymore. I'm not anymore soda. I'm not going to drink soda anymore. I'm not going to drink soda anymore. 4 years, right? I learned a lot during this time by making videos, right? To show you how the progress was here. Of the things I tested for 30 days, for 7 days, for 24 hours, I tested a lot of things. And there are some skills that help our personal development. There are those skills that are more trivial and more for entertainment. I'm not saying they're bad, they're just less useful for yourself. And there are those skills that give you a boost in life, like, I don't know, sports. If you decide to learn any sport and dedicate yourself to it, it will become a new skill once you get good at it. You can use it to make money, to improve your physique, to improve your mind, your discipline. It's really beneficial for improving your networking, which is actually the next step here. I already gave a spoiler for the next part. Acquiring skills is a very selective thing. It depends on you, on how much you're going to dedicate yourself to it, and on which skill you choose. But it's something that needs to happen for personal development. Ninth step, networking. Networking, which is something I do very well, is a shortcut to all the other things here on the channel. As you've already seen, I test out many sports, many habits, diets, workouts. And I'm very good at creating networking, at communicating with people, at asking for help. And I always end up meeting a specialist in something I want to learn, and then that person becomes a bridge for me and turns into a shortcut so I can learn that thing faster. Then comes that issue of communication. You can network more easily if you put yourself in networking situations, if you're good at communicating, but it's no use being good at communicating if you just stay locked away. At home, it's better to look for networking opportunities outside. Go to events. I always tell people to go to events, to travel. Anything that exposes you to networking situations, putting yourself in situations to meet new people, can help you build good networks. And the last step, appearance. Unfortunately, I have to mention appearance. Developing your appearance is going to be very useful because we live in a world of appearances. Nowadays, when someone looks at you, the first impression they have of you before anything else is your appearance. So, trying to maintain a good appearance will help you with a lot of things in life. You don't have to become a Henry Cavill overnight. Sometimes you just can't, right? You would have to be born again to reach that level of beauty. I'm not talking about becoming handsome, I'm saying you should be a presentable person. You're wearing clean clothes, it doesn't have to be expensive clothes, look how amazing that is, right? To be a well-dressed person, you don't have to wear expensive clothes, man. Just having a good appearance also depends on your body. I'm still not saying you should try to be as handsome as Henry Cavill. You can take care of your hair, it doesn't have to be at expensive salons. You can also do the basics to keep your hair looking presentable. You can take care of your beard, you can take care of your skin. A lot of what helps you maintain a good appearance is being a healthy person. When you are healthy, you give off a healthy vibe, and that already says a lot about your appearance, your hygiene, if you have a bright white smile, if your beard is well groomed. Everything I mentioned here are things I've noticed in my own life, things I've used a lot for my personal development. And today I can honestly say that I have a really good life. I'm a happy guy, and I'm not going to be that old man who says, "Wow, I was happy and didn't even know it." I can say I'm happy and I know it, and a lot of that happiness came from my personal development. Well, if you liked this video, if you found it useful, leave a like here to support my work. Share this video with that friend of yours who you'd also like to see developing, to see improving along with you. One thing I didn't mention here is bringing someone up together with you. When you have someone with you, it could be a friend, it could be a partner, it could be anyone. Anyone who is on the same journey with you will make the path easier. So, share this video with someone you like and want to see growing with you, and it will help me too, right? Comment here, what kind of video would you like to see more on this channel, and until the next experience?
Bells in the background, kinda spooky, right? Look.
Henry Cavill, wow, that guy is handsome, my god. Create the most